Hello and welcome back to another Touchpoint Group Banking App Insight session. And we're looking at the US regional banks for the month of October. Tony Patrick doing what we do. The data speaks for itself. And, we just report the news. So we're often seen as the bearer of bad news. So this month, it's actually great to report on the amazing progress made by Huntington. Now, we've highlighted the data and around some of the negative experiences that people have been having in the past. So it's actually fantastic to be able to report on the massive positive impact and gains that the latest update has given Huntington. Over to you, and let's spread some nearly Christmas cheer.
It's great to bring some good news. Thanks, Glenn. So yeah, today we're looking at the US regionals, covering TD Bank, Regions, Fifth Third, Citizens, Key Bank, and of course Huntington. So let's move into this straight away and just have a look at our engaged customer score. So those familiar with this will understand, but it's the engaged customer score is essentially those giving both a score and a comment in the app stores when they give feedback. That allows us to have a really sensitive movement as to what's happening, and not be sort of blocked out by the sort of a lot of bland information that keeps a lot of these apps sort of flat. When we see a movement in this data, we actually know why, because there's a comment attached to everything that's going on here. So one of the things we can see is that historically we can see that Huntington was sitting. It's sitting sort of below a few others sitting in here. But again, what we can see here though is that something has happened in October, an amazing movement which has brought it ahead of others. And I suppose there's a couple of small things going on as well. We can see that TD has dropped in that same time. So they've had issues coming along. And again, they need to obviously repair those in the short term and not let those drag on. But what I will look at is Huntington. So that's an amazing jump from around 2.75 or around 2.5 up to around 4. Let's uncover what's going on here, because it's a big movement, and we know why it's happened. So first, before we go into here, what we want to look at is the context of the previous quarter. So this is before this movement went up. And so Huntington's sitting sort of in this UK and ranking. What they've actually done, they've leapfrogged all the other US regionals and to be sort of towards the threshold of moving into this top level. So it's a really positive move. And there's multiple things going on underneath this. So let's have a look at what's actually happening inside here. First of all, let's have a look at Huntington and their app launch perspective. So pretty much every month, it's actually jumping up in terms of frequency of certain apps. We can see here, so here's version 6.25.275. And each month, there's a dominant one coming through, which is really good. This is best practice from a launch process. We're not having multiple versions sitting around long term, which we've seen with others. And we can see here, as one drops away, another one dominates. And that's a really nice way of doing it. So you're not sort of, I suppose, customers aren't sitting around with old problems. And as Huntington fixes something, it can come through. So the version we're looking at now is for October is version 6.32.231. And that's the one where this impact is coming through strongly. We can see that massive improvement. So what I'll do now, I will have a look at a bit of detail about what's happened here. So to give you a bit of navigation about what I'm showing you, this is just for Huntington. And what I can see is their score. So this chart at the top there is their score, moving from about 2.5 up to 4. One of the things we can see is that this red area is pain points. So pain points have more than halved from this point here. 52% of comments were pain points, down to around 21% pain points in October. So a great improvement. So obviously Huntington know exactly what they've done, but we can see and hear the outcome of what's actually happened. The biggest thing here are things like reliability. So reliability has actually gone amazingly well. So it was about 40 odd. It's gone down to about 15. So it's dropped 26 percentage points. So people are less likely to be talking about reliability and technical issue problems, which means they can focus on the good journeys that Huntington have inside here, inside the app. So technical issues have also dropped by about 25 points down to about 15. Things like bugs have gone down 10 points. So there were about sort of 13, gone down to 2.7. So really positive movements sitting inside here. But let's have a look, though, at what's actually happening underneath these. So if I look at unreliable app, what I can do is compare. So the current month, Huntington's at 15.2. Is that good? Have they actually gone to the level that's expected? Let's have a look. So we can benchmark this against others. And what we're seeing here is the frequency. So frequency of unreliability is 15.2. That is the best in October. And it's better than Citizens, Santander, and doing very well in the scheme of things. So very positive. And I think take a learning from that app version and keep this up. It's going to be a massive improvement across time as well. What I can also do is look at things like bugs. So how have bugs improved? So again, like not quite first, but 2.7% bugs is well ahead of a lot of others that are sitting in here. So a very positive move ahead for Huntington. And if we look at, and one of the things we can also look at, I'll move away from here, is what's actually going on from, now those regular watchers of this will understand this surf analysis, which covers off 4 key areas, and these are all pain points, so lower is better. So security authentication, usability, reliability, and functionality are the 4 key things that make up surf. One of the things we see, if you can improve on reliability, you can also improve elsewhere. So we see reliability as the biggest mover. It's actually gone from commenting, 41% of customers commenting down to 15%. And that has had a massive flow-on effect. So usability and functionality have suddenly can start, as I said, the journeys that Nationwide, that Huntington have actually built can actually shine. And we can see there very quickly usability issues have dropped, functionality issues have dropped, authentication issues have dropped. So a massive improvement across time there. So this is what you can do. It's one of those stages you can go through to really improve what's happening with your app, improve the reliability, and everything will flow through from there. So thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, this is almost the perfect case study of what we have been talking about for a long time around if you are almost to the point of being fanatical about getting those foundational attributes right in your app and around access, login, ironing out technical bugs, then it allows and it frees the app up to actually shine with all of those features and journeys and functionalities that you're building into it. Because if people are struggling to get in and do some of the basic functions that they need to do to be able to experience it, it doesn't matter how many great functions and journeys and features that you've got in it, people are not going to be happy. So if you're fanatical about the basics, the rest can shine.